In Unit 6 of our Calculus 2 class, we will discuss power series, Taylor and Maclaurin polynomials. And in our first section of power series, we want to describe what is a power series centered at a center value of the variable equal to c, and that is the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of a sub n times the quantity x minus c to the n. If the series is centered at 0, then it will be the sum from n equals 0 to infinity of the a sub n times x to the n. And a power series will converge for some values of x. It will definitely converge when x is equal to c, because then we are just adding zeros, and that is a real value, the sum of zeros. If c is not the only convergent point, there is always a real number r greater than 0, which could also be infinity, such that the series will converge if the absolute value of the quantity x minus c is less than the radius, and the series will diverge if the absolute value of x minus c is greater than the radius, and this number r is called the radius. If the radius is equal to 0, then the power series will only converge for x equal to c, or on the set of values that are just c. If r is infinity, then it converges for all real numbers. If r is a finite positive real number, then the power series will converge on the open interval from c minus r to c plus r. And we also want to check the endpoints separately to see if we need to have a closed interval in either of the endpoints or in just one of them. So to find the radius and interval of convergence of series, we will use the ratio test. So the ratio test just requires us to understand what the series looks like and then take the limit of two consecutive terms as n approaches infinity. And the series will converge when that limit is less than 1. It will diverge when that limit is greater than 1 or infinity, and when the limit is equal to 1, the ratio test itself is inconclusive, and we will have to use some other test to check the series that are generated at the endpoints of that interval. So let's see how that works. So we have this given series. Every term is -1 to the n times x to the n. And the ratio test will have the limit of -1 to the n plus 1 times n plus 1 times x to the n plus 1 divided by -1 to the n times x to the n. Now we can simplify the negative ones, and we will end up here with a -1, but because the ratio test has an absolute value, the absolute value of -1 will equal to 1, and therefore the sign change, so the -1 to some power is not really necessary when you are using the ratio test to take that limit. So in the future examples, I will not use the -1 at all. From the x's, I can simplify all the x's in the denominator except for one x in the numerator, and the ratio test gives me the limit of the two consecutive terms as n approaches infinity to be the absolute value of n plus 1 over n times x. And the absolute value of n plus 1 over n, which is the only term that changes as the n approaches infinity, is equal to 1. So this is the absolute value of 1 times x, which is the absolute value of x. And this series will converge per the ratio test if the absolute value of x is less than 1, so the limit of the two consecutive terms is less than 1, which becomes -1 less than x less than 1. So far we have an interval of convergence that is open at -1 and all the way to 1 and open at 1. And we need to check the endpoints to see if this series will converge when x is equal to -1 and when x is equal to 1. Now, when x is either -1 or 1, then the absolute value of -1 equals the absolute value of 1, which is equal to 1, and the ratio test is inconclusive, so we are going to use some other tests for those. So our first task is to replace x with -1 and 1 and see what kind of series we get. When x is equal to -1, then -1 to the n times -1 to the n will be +1 to the n, and therefore I have the series sum from n equals 1 to infinity of n. The nth term test indicates that this limit is not 0, so that series diverges. When x is equal to +1, I will have the series -1 to the n times 1. And again, with the nth term test, the limit of -1 to the n times n is plus or minus infinity. It is not equal to 0, and the series diverges. Therefore, overall, the interval of convergence for this series will be open at both endpoints. Let's do another example. We want to determine the radius and interval of convergence for the series -1 to the n over n times x to the n. I'm going to start with the ratio test. So remember that I will not use the sign change because eventually it will be +1. So I'm looking for the ratio of two consecutive terms. Every term is x to the n over n. So x to the n plus 1 over n plus 1 divided by x to the n over n. That results to the absolute value of x. Per the ratio test, it will converge for absolute value of x less than 1, which gives us x between a -1 and 1, and that is temporarily the interval of convergence. And I need to check this same series for the endpoints. So I want to check for x equal to -1 and for x equal to +1, and I'm going to plug it into the series. When x is equal to -1, I get the harmonic series 1 over n. Per our formula packet, it is a p-series with p equal to 1, so it diverges. When x is equal to +1, I get an alternating series, -1 to the n divided by n. So I will use the alternating series test. Every term is positive because n is greater than or equal to 1, which is a positive quantity. 0 is less than 1. If I add n, n will be less than n plus 1. And then if I divide by a positive quantity, the inequality will not change direction. I will get 1 over n plus 1 less than 1 over n, which says that two consecutive terms are decreasing. And the limit of the absolute quantity without the sign change is equal to 0. Therefore, the series converges. So the interval of convergence for this series that they gave me will be open at -1 because the series diverged there, and it will be closed at +1 because the series converged there. So for this series, the ratio test gives us that the limit as n approaches infinity of two consecutive terms equals to 1/3 times x minus 2 as an absolute value. Per the ratio test, it will converge when that limit will be less than 1, which means that the absolute of x minus 2 will be less than 3, and that gives us an open interval from -1 to 5. When I plug in x equal to -1, the quantity x minus 2 is -3 to the n. -3 to the n divided by 3 to the n is -1 to the n. I get an alternating series. It satisfies all the conditions for convergence, so that converges. Remember that the alternating series test cannot determine divergence. When x is equal to 5, the quantity x minus 2 is 3. So 3 to the n divided by 3 to the n is 1. I get the series 1 over n minus 1. I will do limit comparison to b sub n equals 1 over n. This is a p series with p equal to 1 and diverges. So both of my a sub n and my b sub n are positive. And the limit of a sub n over b sub n is a positive quantity, finite quantity. It's equal to 1. Therefore, my series will do whatever b sub n does. So my series will diverge. And we have now an interval of convergence that is closed at -1 since it converges at -1, but open at 5. For our last example in our notes, we have the series x plus 1 to the 2n divided by n factorial. When I take the ratio of two consecutive terms, I get x plus 1 to the 2n plus 2 if I distribute over n plus 1 factorial. With the n factorial, all the first n factors of n plus 1 factorial will go away and the n plus 1 will be left. And the x plus 1 quantities, I will have all of them in the denominator, simplify, and have 2 in the numerator remaining. The limit of x plus 1 squared over n plus 1 as n approaches infinity is 0, because the only term of this fraction that grows is the denominator. 0 is less than 1 for all x, and therefore the interval of convergence here will be all real numbers, -infinity to +infinity.